TechCast Q&A, new windows, USB audio, and holograms? Hi everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Church TechCast Q&A show. My name is Paul Allen Clifford, and I'm your host once again for this fun show. So if you have any questions, I'd love for you to ask them. Head over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact. Hit me up on Twitter, Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanclif, or you can just leave a comment on the contact page, as well as finding my other contact information like paul at trinitydigitalmedia.com, which is my email address, or my toll-free voicemail number, 1-877-763-3246. That's 1-877-POD-ECHO. And for some reason, my dog is going crazy in the background. You can probably hear that. There's a dog outside going crazy, so that's probably it. Okay, so without further... Oh, sorry, I forgot a couple of things that I tend to do here. So, first off, I want to recommend my streaming provider, churchstreaming.tv. Churchstreaming.tv provides all the streaming for the churchtechcast.com network, and they also provide a video podcast channel. So if you'd like to subscribe to the video podcast, what you're actually getting is a feed from churchstreaming.tv. Head over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/churchstreaming for a 1-month free trial, and you can just see how wonderful it is. I'm a huge fan of their work, not only because they provide great streaming, but also because they provide great customer service. So when I have a question, I fire off an email and a person talks to me. That is something you don't get with every single provider. So that's why I recommend them so highly. I also want to recommend another resource for you. This is my pastor's book, What Life Are You Waiting For? This book is all about pursuing your passion, pursuing your dream, and doing what God has called you to do even when you're scared. So I'd love for you to pick up a copy. It's available for pre-order. This isn't like a 5-page pamphlet. This is an actual book published by an actual publisher, Tyndale, with a foreword by Bill Hybels. So we're talking a mainstream work here, and it's available at the beginning of, well, end of next month, I think, is when it actually ships, or beginning of May, one of those two. So not far now until it actually ships. So I would love for you to take a look. So let's get on over to the questions. We've got a few questions, not as many as I would like, but that's okay. We'll just proceed from there. Kevin Purcell asks, our church just got new windows, not Microsoft Windows, like actual hole in the wall covered by glass you can see through windows to replace our old and terrible condition windows. They look great, but are also much brighter. We need new projectors, but we needed new projectors, but now we really do. What are the best high brightness projectors someone has used here? We have 3000 lumen Panasonic projectors. Well, Barco and Christie are really the top-notch ones. Now, I don't know if you were thinking, hey, we've got a budget of $1,000, in which case neither of those are the option for you, but those are the ones that I would use. Now, with that said, having a lot of natural light is the enemy of projection. That's why when you go to a movie theater, they don't have windows, because it's just difficult to overcome that big burning ball of fire in the sky called the sun. you can do it with LEDs, not LED backlit LCD panels. I'm talking each pixel is actually an LED. Those displays, you can do that because they're very, very bright. But you're talking about either reflected light or backlit projection, and that is more difficult. Now, I did ask a clarifying question. I asked him if light was hitting the screens directly, and it appears that it is not. So that is your friend, because if the sun was hitting those screens, there's really not a lot you can do other than replace them with LEDs. So, depending on your room, and I'm still waiting to hear from him with pictures, if you've got a long, narrow room, you can go with a high gain screen. So, a high gain screen would reflect more light in a narrower cone. Now, if you've got a wider room, that's not going to help because on the edges, you won't be able to see that. But if you've got a more long, narrow kind of room, then a high gain screen might help things. You also want a good contrast ratio. So DLP tends to have a better contrast ratio because it uses little mirrors, which sounds very analog and like such a bad idea, but it's just beautiful video. So what you would do is the contrast ratio is how white the whites are versus how black the blacks are. And a 3000 lumen LCD projector is going to look dimmer to your eye than a 3000 lumen DLP projector. And that's because while the whites will be the same brightness, the blacks will be totally different. On an LCD projector, the blacks are actually very dark blue. On a DLP projector, the blacks are black. So it's just that you angle the little bitty pixel-sized mirror away from the screen, and so it doesn't reflect any light whatsoever. Problem solved. Now that's all done automatically in the projector. It's not like you've got someone back there tweaking things. That's done electronically, but that's why contrast ratio really matters. Because if black is not black, black is actually dark blue or dark gray or something, then it's not going to seem as bright. So there are a few details we really need to know to get this information right. R. Kresge, R. Kresge on churchmedia.net asks, audio to USB interface. We've been working with a borrowed audio to USB adapter for recording our sermons on computers so they can be uploaded to our website. We need to return the audio box to its owner, so I'm looking for a replacement. Suggestions at a reasonable cost. The Behringer Euphoria UM2 looks interesting. Anyone have any better suggestions? Cost is very much a factor, and it's primarily for recording voice. Thanks, Roger. If cost is very much a factor, what I use personally, now I've got an unbalanced output that I can use into this, and I think I found out that you don't have that, so this might not help you, but I use the Griffin iMic. Now you would think a Griffin iMic is a microphone. It's not. It's a USB audio interface, and that basically just has a little input jack that takes a mini plug, and you can adapt that from like a tape out on your audio board. In fact, that's probably the best way to do it, and get that into USB fine, and I think you'll get fine sound if cost is very much an option. They run like $30, so it's a good choice. Now, if you want something higher end, there are much better solutions, but you say cost was very much part of the equation, a factor, you said. So that's why I recommend that piece, because while it's not perfect, it will help you, and it's better than nothing. So, from an audio perspective, it's not pristine, but it's better than the built-in sound card that a lot of laptops have, which sometimes get a buzz. So it beats that. Um, and it's what I use on the Tuesday and Wednesday shows, just for your information. I actually come into a Zoom H4n recording device and out into the Griffin iMic and into my Canon T3i, which is located to my right, your left. So I hope that helps. Okay, this one is fun. Holographic sermon projection? Les Brown posted on the Church Tech Leaders board, "Hey folks, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this, but in the interest of being absolutely sure, here goes. As my church explores options for transmission and projection of video for our main campus to our current and future sites, well-meaning people on our staff continue to tell me that they know without a shadow of a doubt that this church..." Hold on. There we go. That this church or that church is using holographic technology in their satellite campus for sermon video. I keep assuring them that I understand what they mean, but that I'm more than reasonably certain that no church is currently using holograms or holographic projectors in this way. I do know that Clark has demonstrated a system in their theater, but that's as far as I know it's gotten, to my knowledge. So then, does anyone know for certain of a church that is actually using holographic technology in this way? If so, could you please send me a link to the church that you know is actually using it? Thanks. Okay, so after some back and forth, what they're referring to is not holographic technology. Now, people might confuse it for holographic technology, but a hologram is 3D, and what they're seeing is a 2D image. So, what's going on, and I think this will work even better when 4K comes, is there is a screen that is on the floor. At a 45-degree angle to that screen is a piece of mylar or a piece of beam splitter glass or something like that that is reflecting the image up to where people are looking at it straight on. This is basically the way that it works in the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. It's a very old technology. It's called Pepper's Ghost. So Pepper's Ghost was this technology used in the 1800s as a special effect. So on stage, you could have this piece of glass and then someone could be hidden off stage. I think they actually did it at a 45-degree angle. Let's see here, 90, 45. 45-degree angle on stage, and then someone would be standing off stage, and then they would change here. This is the way it would look for you. They would change the lighting so that the reflection of this person showed up on this glass at a 45-degree angle, and everything behind the glass would show up. There was, in the 80s, there was a toy created to simulate the beaming process on Star Trek The Next Generation that used the same illusion. You would stick the figure into a chamber in the toy, and then you would change the transparency by lowering or raising the light of a little little bitty incandescent light bulb, and that would make the figure disappear or reappear as you were looking at it. So it's really a fairly simple thing to do. If you go to Disney World, you see the Haunted Mansion that I mentioned. What they do is they project it onto a screen, and then the they have the 45. So it's projected onto a screen here. Uh, yeah, it's projected onto a screen above you, and then it reflects here, and then you see everything behind the the reflection, the glass. That's why the Haunted Mansion is dark, by the way. It helps with this illusion, and it's transparent, so it looks like these ghosts are dancing around in a room that you're looking down into. Does that make sense? So that is not a hologram, but it is being done. One of Andy Stanley's campuses is in fact doing that. So it can be done. It's not a hologram, but and depending on if your pastor is someone who stands in place, if you got just like a 72-inch LCD monitor and laid that on the floor in front of a piece of mylar at a 45-degree angle up against the black background or something like that, then you could absolutely do that. Piece of beam splitter glass like they use for teleprompters, it's the same thing. So the viewing angle might be a little tricky. Um, so that's what I would be careful about. But it is possible. But as I say, it's not a hologram. I'd love to try it sometime, but not a hologram. A hologram, you could go up on stage and you could walk around and you could see things on either side. That would be a hologram. This is two-dimensional, so from the side it'll still look like you're looking at the side. So it also depends on how your room is shaped. If it's a very wide room, like United Methodist type of rooms from the 1800s, then that's not going to work as well as if it's a shotgun, straight, long and narrow kind of room. So your architecture really matters. Okay, next one. Matt Schaff, again in the Church Tech Leaders Board, says, "Hello everyone, I'm putting together some training for my media lyric operators. We are running ProPresenter, and I know they have a lot of really helpful tutorials here. However, I'm having a hard time finding some good videos for training the operators on timing. When to hit the button so the lyrics show up early enough for people to process and keep singing. So not so early that it's a distraction. I remember seeing a video a couple of years ago that was fantastic for this, but I can't seem to find it now. If any of you have any resources for training this timing, I would greatly appreciate them. Thanks, everyone." Okay, so I've got some stuff up on my YouTube channel, bit.ly/paultube. That'll take you there. But Mike Sessler has some stuff on Church Tech. I'm blanking on what it's called. Church Tech something or other. But basically, let me give you the overview. Start out as a starting point, changing on the next to last syllable of what is being sung. For a fast song, no later than next to last syllable of the previous slide. For a slow song, and this is where, as an operator, you must know the songs. I can fly by the seat of my pants, but I've been doing this for 12 years. 13 years, something like that. If you know the song, you might know, okay, after this page, there's a long musical interlude. If you know that, let it dwell on the lyrics a bit. Don't put the lyrics up too early. But if you're going bam, 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 slide, 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 next to last syllable is a great starting point. So the technical word for that is the penultimate syllable. Not quite the last one, but the next to last one. That's a good place to start. You, as you say, you don't want it to be too early, but you don't want people to be going, what's a, and they miss the first two syllables of the next slide because they don't know what it is. So people are erring on the side of making a mistake here. So that's something that I don't want you to be doing. I've been to so many churches, so many, where they change exactly, or they're even a little late. Don't do that. Next to last syllable is your starting point, and tweak from there based on the song. Okay, I don't think we have any other questions unless Justin in the chat has any, or if Shane wants to hop back in and ask any questions. Uh, of course, my phone bzzzt, uh, not with questions, and Justin says that he is in fact good. So if you have any questions or comments, remember you can hit me up on my blog, trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact. And Trinity, Digital, and Media are all spelled the normal way. There's no extra vowels, there's no missing vowels, there's no unique spellings. It's I've had it since like 2002, so I got the correct spelling. So hit me up there and I'll be happy to talk to you. Hit me up on Twitter, Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanClif, and I'd be happy to talk to you as well. You can put comments below if you're watching this video on YouTube. If you're watching this video on my website, please put comments below. Either way, and I'll be happy to help you. So I hope that this information is helpful to you, and I hope that you can use it as you're going out and changing eternity. Until next time, I'm Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.